She gave him one night. No names, no promises, no consequences. But Julian Wayne doesn't forget. And now someone has proof. A photograph taken from inside her bedroom, time-stamped, deliberate. A message that said, "You are never truly safe." This is The CEO from the Bar by Raven Sanz, an RS Stories original. If this story is pulling you in, hit subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Thea Hunt didn't believe in omens, but the silence in her mother's house felt wrong. Too still, too heavy, too waiting. She stepped inside, heels clicking against the polished hardwood, her wedding binder tucked under her arm. She'd come to show her mother the final seating chart. She'd been excited, nervous, hopeful. Now her stomach twisted. "Mom," she called. "Danielle?" No answer. Just the hum of the air conditioner and the faintest sound and a breathy laugh drifting down the hallway. Her mother's laugh. Thea froze. No, she was imagining it. Her mother wouldn't. Another sound. A low male voice, Daniel's voice. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She moved before she could think, her heels echoing like gunshots as she walked down the hall. Her pulse roared in her ears. Her throat tightened. Her fingers shook. She reached the bedroom door. Her mother's bedroom. She pushed it open, and her world split in half. Daniel was in bed. Her mother was beneath him, sheets tangled, skin flushed, hands everywhere. Thea's breath left her body in a violent rush. Daniel jerked upright, eyes wide. "Thea, wait, this isn't—" Her mother grabbed the sheets, face pale. "Sweetheart, listen." Thea didn't listen. She couldn't. Her ears rang. Her vision blurred. Her chest caved in. She turned and ran. She didn't remember the hallway. She didn't remember the front door. She didn't remember getting into her car. She only remembered the sound of her mother's voice echoing in her skull. "Sweetheart, listen." She pressed the gas pedal harder. Los Angeles blurred around her. Neon lights, palm trees, traffic, noise, all of it smeared by tears she couldn't stop. She didn't know where she was going until she saw it. The Blue Hour. A bar she'd gone to after work with friends. Safe, dim, forgettable, perfect. She parked crookedly, stumbled out, and pushed through the door. Warm lighting, low jazz, a few scattered patrons. Thea headed straight for the bar. The bartender, a tattooed woman with sharp eyeliner, took one look at her and poured a double whiskey without asking. Thea swallowed half of it in one burning gulp. The bartender raised a brow. "Bad day?" Thea laughed, a broken, ugly sound. "You could say that." She finished the drink. The bartender poured another. Thea didn't notice the man sitting 2 stools away until he spoke. "You look like you're trying to forget something." His voice was deep, smooth, controlled, the kind of voice that could steady a storm. Thea turned her head, and her breath caught. He was striking. Dark hair, sharp jaw, broad shoulders beneath a fitted black shirt, eyes like a storm, blue, intense, unreadable. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't flirting, he was studying her, and somehow that made her feel seen. She let out a shaky laugh. "Forget something. Try forgetting everything." He lifted his glass. "That bad?" She swallowed hard. "I caught my fiancé cheating." He didn't flinch, didn't pity her, didn't look surprised. He just nodded once. "With who?" She hesitated, then whispered, "My mother." His jaw tightened, the only sign he was human. "That," he said quietly, "is worse than bad." She let out a broken laugh. "You think?" He took a slow sip of his drink. "I caught my fiancé cheating too." Thea blinked. "Seriously?" He nodded. "With someone I trusted." Her chest tightened. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," he said. "I'm not." She stared at him. "How are you not?" He shrugged. "Because I should have seen it coming." Thea swallowed. "I didn't." He looked at her, really looked at her, and something in his expression softened. "You will," he said. She frowned. "Will what?" "See it coming next time." She stared at her drink. "I don't want a next time." "You will," he repeated. She shook her head. "You don't know me." He leaned in slightly. "I know heartbreak when I see it." Her breath caught. She didn't know why, but she believed him. Maybe it was the way he spoke. calm, steady, certain. Maybe it was the way he didn't look away when she cried. Maybe it was the way he didn't try to fix her. He just listened. They talked for hours. About betrayal, about pain, about the strange comfort of talking to a stranger who had nothing to gain. He told her his name was Julian. She told him hers was Thea. He didn't ask for details. He didn't pry. He didn't judge. He just existed beside her, solid, steady, warm. At some point, she realized she was leaning toward him, that his shoulder brushed hers, that his hand rested on the bar close enough to touch. She didn't know who moved first. Maybe it was her. Maybe it was him. Maybe it was both. But suddenly, his lips were on hers, soft, warm, devastating. She gasped, and he deepened the kiss, one hand sliding to the back of her neck, the other gripping her waist. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't careful. It was desperate, hungry, alive. She didn't remember leaving the bar. She didn't remember the ride. She didn't remember the elevator. She only remembered his hands, his mouth, his voice whispering her name like it meant something. She remembered the way he held her afterward. Not possessive, not demanding, just there. She remembered feeling safe. For the first time in a long time. Thea woke up alone. The sheets were cool beside her. The room was unfamiliar, modern, minimalist, expensive, a penthouse. Julian was gone. Her heart twisted. On the nightstand was a glass of water, 2 aspirin, and a note. She picked it up. "Thank you for last night. Take care of yourself. J." Her chest tightened. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She dressed quietly, slipped out of the penthouse, and stepped into the bright Los Angeles morning. She told herself it was better this way. He was a stranger, a mistake, a moment she would never repeat. She would never see him again. She believed that, until 3 days later. Thea stood in the crowded ballroom of Westbridge Media, clutching a glass of champagne she wasn't drinking. The company was buzzing. New CEO, big announcement, everyone excited. She wasn't. She was exhausted, raw, barely holding herself together. The lights dimmed. The announcer stepped up to the microphone. "Please welcome the new CEO of Westbridge Media, Julian Wayne." Thea froze. Her heart stopped. Her breath vanished. And then Julian stepped onto the stage, tall, composed, powerful, the man from the bar, the man from that night, the man who knew her in ways no one else did. His eyes scanned the crowd, found her, held her, and then he smiled, slow, knowing, dangerous. Thea's stomach dropped. Oh God, this was bad. The applause was thunder. Thea couldn't hear any of it. Her pulse drowned everything out as Julian Wayne, Julian from the bar, Julian from that night, Julian whose hands she still felt on her skin, stood on the stage like he owned the world. He looked different in a suit, sharper, colder, more dangerous, but his eyes were exactly the same, stormy blue, focused, locked on her. Her breath caught. He didn't look away. Not when the applause rose, not when the board members shook his hand, not when cameras flashed. He watched her like she was the only person in the room. Thea's stomach twisted. She needed to leave. Now. She turned, weaving through the crowd, ignoring coworkers calling her name. She pushed through the ballroom doors and stumbled into the hallway, her breath coming in sharp, panicked bursts. She pressed a hand to her chest. This couldn't be happening. This was impossible. This was Thea. His voice, deep, smooth, too familiar. She froze. Slowly, she turned. Julian stood a few feet away, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable. His suit was tailored to perfection, his hair slightly tousled, his jaw freshly shaved. He looked like a man who made decisions that changed lives. He looked like a man who could ruin hers. "You left quickly," he said. She swallowed. "You're the CEO." He nodded once. "I am." "You knew?" "Yes." "You knew who I was that night?" "Yes." "And you didn't tell me?" "No." Her chest tightened. "Why?" He stepped closer, slow and deliberate. "Because you didn't ask." She stared at him. "Are you serious?" He shrugged. "You didn't want details. You wanted to forget." Her voice cracked. "I didn't want to forget you." The words slipped out before she could stop them. Julian's eyes darkened. He stepped closer. Too close. close enough that she felt the heat of him. "You left before I woke up," he said quietly. "I thought that's what you wanted." It wasn't. Her breath trembled. He leaned in slightly. "You ran like you were escaping a crime scene. I was embarrassed. You didn't look embarrassed that night." Her cheeks burned. "Julian," he lowered his voice, "you looked beautiful." Her heart stuttered. He straightened, his expression shifting back to CEO mode, controlled, composed, dangerous. "We need to talk," he said. "No," she said quickly. "We don't." "Yes," he said. "We do. I'm your employee. I'm aware. This is inappropriate. Very." "Then why?" "Because I don't regret that night." Her breath caught. He didn't blink. "Do you?" She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I don't know," she whispered. "That's not an answer. It's the only one I have." He studied her for a long moment, his eyes searching her face, reading every flicker of emotion she tried to hide. Finally, he said, "Come to my office after the event." "No. Yes. I'm not." "You are." She glared at him. "You can't order me around. I'm your CEO. That's not fair. Life rarely is." She wanted to scream. She wanted to throw her champagne glass at him. She wanted to kiss him again. She hated all of it. Julian stepped back, giving her space. "I'll see you in my office." She shook her head. "I'm not going." "You will." "I won't." He smirked. "You will." She wanted to punch him. He turned and walked back toward the ballroom, leaving her breathless and furious and confused. Thea didn't go to his office. She went back to her desk, hoping the universe would magically erase the last 48 hours. It didn't. Her phone buzzed. "Unknown number, you're late." Her stomach dropped. She typed back quickly. "Thea, I'm not coming." 3 dots appeared. Then, "Unknown number. Yes, you are." She clenched her jaw. "Thea, you can't force me." "Unknown number. I can, but I'd rather not." She stared at the screen. Her pulse raced, her fingers shook. "Thea, why do you want to talk to me?" A pause. Then, "Unknown number. Because I haven't stopped thinking about you." Her breath caught. She typed before she could stop herself. "Thea, Julian, this is complicated." "Unknown number. It doesn't have to be. Thea, I'm your employee." "Unknown number. And I'm a man who wants to see you." Her heart pounded. She typed slowly. "Thea, what do you want from me?" The reply came instantly. "Unknown number. The truth." She swallowed. "Thea, about what?" "Unknown number. About why you left." Her chest tightened. She typed. "Thea, because I was scared." A long pause. Then, "Unknown number. Come to my office?" She stared at the message, her pulse hammered, her stomach twisted, her heart ached. She stood. She didn't know why, she didn't know what she was doing. She only knew she was walking toward the elevator. Julian's office was on the top floor, glass walls, sweeping views of Los Angeles, minimalist furniture, and a desk that looked like it cost more than her car. He stood by the window, hands in his pockets, watching the city below. He didn't turn when she entered. He didn't speak. He just waited. Thea closed the door behind her. The click echoed through the room. Julian finally turned. His eyes locked on hers, and everything inside her tightened. He walked toward her slowly, each step measured, controlled, deliberate. When he stopped in front of her, he said, "Why were you scared?" She swallowed. "Because I didn't expect to feel anything." His jaw tightened. "Neither did I." Her breath caught. "Julian." He reached out and brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. Her skin burned. "You left," he said quietly, "and I let you." She whispered, "I thought you wanted me to." "I didn't." Her heart pounded. He stepped closer, too close, close enough that she felt the heat of him, close enough that she remembered everything. "Thea," he said softly, "I want to see you again." Her breath trembled. "We can't." "Why not?" "Because you're my boss." He smirked. "That's a technicality. It's a big one. It's manageable." She shook her head. "Julian." He leaned in. Her pulse raced. Her breath hitched. His lips brushed her ear. "Tell me you don't want me," he whispered. Her knees nearly buckled. She couldn't speak. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't lie. Julian pulled back just enough to look into her eyes. "Tell me," he said softly. She opened her mouth. A knock on the door shattered the moment. Julian's expression darkened. "Come in," he said, voice clipped. His assistant stepped inside, pale and nervous. "Mr. Wayne, you need to see this." Julian frowned. "What is it?" The assistant handed him a tablet. Julian looked at the screen. His jaw clenched, his eyes darkened. He turned the tablet toward Thea. Her stomach dropped. It was a photo of her, leaving his penthouse, time-stamped, posted anonymously, already going viral inside the company, already on 2 gossip sites. Her breath vanished, her world tilted, and then the office door opened again. A woman stepped inside, tall, beautiful, expensive, smiling like she owned the world. "Hello, Julian," she purred. Her eyes slid to Thea, and her smile sharpened. "Oh," she said sweetly, "this must be her." Lila Hart didn't walk into Julian's office. She glided, tall, elegant, perfectly put together in a cream dress that screamed money and menace. Her heels clicked like a countdown. Thea felt her stomach drop. Julian's entire body went rigid. "Lila," he said, voice flat. Lila smiled, slow, sharp, practiced. "Hello, Julian." Her gaze slid to Thea, assessing her in a single sweep. "Oh," she said sweetly, "this must be her." Thea's pulse spiked. Julian stepped in front of her without thinking, blocking Lila's view. "Why are you here?" he asked. Lila's smile widened. "Relax. I'm not here to cause trouble." Julian didn't move. "Try again." She sighed dramatically. "Fine. I'm here because someone sent me a photo." Thea's breath caught. Julian's jaw tightened. "What photo?" Lila raised a brow. "Don't play dumb. You know which one." She reached into her designer bag and pulled out her phone. One tap, and the screen lit up. Thea's world tilted. It was the same photo Julian's assistant had shown them. Thea leaving Julian's penthouse at dawn. Time-stamped. Clear. Damning. Lila held the phone like a weapon. "Imagine my surprise." Julian's voice dropped to a lethal calm. "Who sent it?" No name, no number, just the picture and a message. "What message?" Lila hesitated, just long enough to make it hurt. Then she said, "You should have held on to him when you had the chance." Thea's stomach twisted. Julian's expression darkened. "Someone wants you involved." "Obviously," Lila said, "and they want her involved too." She pointed at Thea. Thea felt sick. Julian stepped forward, voice low. "Why warn me?" Lila's smile faded. For the first time, she looked human. "Because I know what it feels like to be blindsided," she said quietly, "and I know what it feels like to lose everything." Julian's jaw tightened. Lila looked at Thea again, not with disdain this time, but with something almost like pity. "You're in danger," she said softly. "Both of you." Thea swallowed. "From who?" Lila shook her head. "I don't know, but they're watching you." Julian's voice sharpened. "Get out." Lila blinked. "Julian, get out." She hesitated, then nodded and walked toward the door. But before she left, she paused and looked back at Thea. "Be careful," she said. "You have no idea what you've stepped into." The door closed behind her. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Electric. Thea's heart pounded so loudly she could barely hear anything else. Julian paced the room, tension radiating off him. "This is escalating." Thea swallowed. "Julian, what does she mean? Who would want to hurt you?" He didn't answer. He didn't look at her. He just kept pacing. "Julian," she said again, voice trembling. "Talk to me." He stopped, turned, looked at her, and she saw it. The fear he tried to hide, the storm in his eyes, the weight on his shoulders. "This isn't about you," he said quietly. "It's about me." Her chest tightened. "Then tell me what's going on." He shook his head. "Not yet." "Why not?" "Because I don't want you involved." She let out a bitter laugh. "It's too late for that." He flinched. She stepped closer. "Julian, someone leaked that photo. Someone wants to hurt you, and they're using me to do it. I deserve to know why." He looked away. She reached out and touched his arm. "Julian." He closed his eyes for a moment, just a moment, before turning back to her. I've made enemies, he said quietly. Powerful ones. Her stomach twisted. Because of the CEO position? Because of everything, he said. My family, my company, my decisions, my past. She swallowed. And they think hurting me will hurt you. His jaw tightened. Yes. Her breath caught. Why? He didn't hesitate. Because I care about you. Her heart stuttered. He stepped closer, his voice low. I cared about you the moment you sat beside me at that bar. I cared about you when you cried into your drink. I cared about you when you left my bed before dawn. Her breath trembled. And I care about you now, he said, more than I should. She felt her knees weaken. Julian, she whispered. He reached out and brushed a tear from her cheek. I'm not letting anyone hurt you. She leaned into his touch without meaning to. He exhaled shakily. Thea. The air between them tightened. He leaned in, slowly, carefully, like he was giving her time to pull away. She didn't. His lips brushed hers. The office door burst open. Julian jerked back. Thea stumbled. His assistant stood in the doorway, pale and breathless. Sir, there's a situation, Julian's voice snapped. What now? The assistant swallowed. It's Thea's ex-fiancé. Thea froze. Julian's expression darkened. What about him? He's downstairs, the assistant said. In the lobby. Thea's stomach dropped. The assistant continued, voice shaking. He's demanding to see her. Julian's jaw clenched. And sir, the assistant added, he brought reporters. Thea's breath vanished. Julian's eyes went cold. What did you just say? The assistant swallowed. There are cameras, microphones, people shouting her name. Thea felt the floor tilt beneath her. Julian stepped forward, voice low and lethal. Get security. Now. The assistant nodded and ran. Thea's hands shook. Julian, what do I do? He turned to her, and for the first time since she'd met him, he looked genuinely afraid. You stay with me, he said. You don't go anywhere alone. Her voice cracked. Why is this happening? He stepped closer, gripping her shoulders gently but firmly. Because someone wants to destroy me, he said, and they think you're the easiest way to do it. Her breath trembled. Julian... He cupped her face, his voice barely above a whisper. I won't let them touch you. Before she could respond, a shout echoed from the hallway, then another. Then, Thea Hunt, is it true you slept with the new CEO? Her blood ran cold. Julian's eyes snapped toward the door. He grabbed her hand. Stay behind me. The door burst open. Cameras, flashes, voices, chaos, and in the middle of it, Daniel, her ex-fiancé, smirking, triumphant, holding up his phone like he'd won something. Thea, he said loudly, we need to talk. Julian stepped in front of her, voice low and lethal. No, he said, you really don't. You're deep in this story now. Subscribe to RS Stories so you never lose your place when the next one drops. Chaos had a pulse, and Thea could feel it vibrating through the walls of Westbridge Media as the elevator descended. Fast, too fast, toward the lobby where her past waited like a trap. Julian stood beside her, shoulders tense, jaw locked, every inch of him radiating lethal control. He didn't look at her, but his hand hovered close enough to touch. Stay behind me, he said. She nodded, even though her throat was too tight to speak. The elevator dinged, the doors slid open, and the noise hit them like a physical blow. The lobby was a storm. Reporters, cameras, security guards shouting into radios, people live streaming on their phones, flashes exploding like lightning, and in the center of it all, Daniel Carter, her ex-fiancé, smirking like he'd been waiting for this moment his entire life. Thea, he shouted, spotting her instantly. Baby, come here. Julian's entire body went rigid. Thea froze. Daniel pushed past a security guard, arms open like he expected her to run into them. I've been worried sick, he said loudly, making sure the cameras caught every word. I just want to talk. Julian stepped in front of her, blocking Daniel's view. You're not going near her, he said. Daniel blinked, then laughed. Who the hell are you? Julian didn't blink. Her CEO. Daniel's eyebrows shot up. Oh, so it's true. Thea's stomach twisted. Daniel turned to the cameras, voice rising theatrically. My fiancé, ex-fiancé, Thea snapped. He ignored her. Has been manipulated by her boss. Look at her. She's terrified. Julian took a step forward, voice low and lethal. You need to leave. Daniel smirked. Or what? You'll fire her? Sleep with someone else? Thea flinched. Julian's fists clenched. Security guards moved in, but Daniel kept talking, louder, feeding the cameras. She's vulnerable. Her mother betrayed her, and now he's taking advantage. Enough, Julian said. Daniel laughed. Oh, I hit a nerve. Julian stepped closer, his voice dropping to a dangerous calm. You don't get to talk about her, not after what you did. Daniel's smile faltered, just for a second. Then he recovered. You don't know anything about me. Julian's eyes darkened. I know enough. Daniel's jaw tightened. She's mine. Thea's breath caught. Julian moved so fast she barely saw it. 1 second he was standing still. The next he was inches from Danielle, his voice a quiet, controlled threat. She doesn't belong to you, he said. She never did. Daniel's face reddened. You think you can just swoop in and... I didn't swoop, Julian said. You pushed her away. Daniel lunged. Security grabbed him instantly, pulling him back as he shouted, You'll regret this. Both of you. You think this is over? You think I won't tell everyone what she's really like? Thea's chest tightened. Julian turned to her, his voice softening instantly. Don't listen to him. But she already felt the panic rising. Daniel wasn't done. He twisted in the guard's grip, shouting over them. She's a liar. She's unstable. Get him out, Julian snapped. Security dragged Daniel toward the doors. He kept shouting, kept twisting, kept trying to get to her. Thea, you're nothing without me. Nothing! The doors slammed shut behind him. Silence fell. Heavy, shaking, suffocating. Thea's knees buckled. Julian caught her before she hit the floor. It's okay, he murmured. I've got you. She pressed her forehead against his chest, trying to breathe. I can't do this, she whispered. I can't be in the middle of a scandal. I can't be the girl everyone whispers about. I can't... Julian cupped her face, forcing her to meet his eyes. You're not the scandal, he said. You're the target. Her breath hitched. Why? Because someone wants to destroy me, he said, and they think you're the easiest way to do it. Her heart pounded. Who? He hesitated, just for a moment, then, I don't know yet. She swallowed. But you have a guess. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it. He just said, we need to get you somewhere safe. She blinked. Safe? He nodded. My penthouse. Her stomach flipped. Julian. It's the only place the press can't reach, he said, and the only place I can protect you. Her pulse raced. I can't go home. No, he said. You can't. She hesitated. What about work? I'll handle it. What about HR? I'll handle them too. What about... He stepped closer, his voice dropping. Thea, he said softly, let me take care of you. Her breath trembled. She didn't trust easily, not anymore, but she trusted him, and that terrified her. Okay, she whispered. Julian exhaled, relief flickering across his face. He took her hand. Let's go. They walked toward the private elevator, security forming a protective wall around them. Just before the doors closed, a voice cut through the lobby like a blade. Well, Lila Hart said, stepping out from behind a column, arms crossed, eyes sharp. This is getting interesting. Julian stiffened. Thea's stomach dropped. Lila smiled. Going somewhere? She asked. Lila Hart didn't walk toward them. She stalked. Her heels clicked across the marble like a countdown, her eyes sharp, her smile razor-thin. She looked like a woman who knew exactly where to cut to make it hurt. Julian's hand tightened around Thea's. Thea felt it, the shift in him, the tension, the protectiveness, the anger simmering just beneath the surface. Lila, Julian said, voice flat. Lila stopped a few feet away, crossing her arms. Quite the scene down here. Julian didn't flinch. What do you want? She tilted her head. To talk. Not now. Oh, I think now is perfect. Her gaze slid to Thea, slow, assessing, almost amused. You look pale. Lila said. Rough day? Thea stiffened. Julian stepped in front of her. Enough. Lila raised a brow. Relax. I'm not here to fight. Then leave. She smirked. You always were dramatic. Julian's jaw tightened. Say what you came to say. Lila's expression shifted, the amusement fading, something colder taking its place. You're being targeted, she said quietly. Both of you. Thea's stomach dropped. Julian didn't move. We know. No, Lila said. You don't. Her voice was different now, lower, serious, almost afraid. Thea felt a chill crawl up her spine. What do you mean? She asked. Lila looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time, there was no malice in her eyes. Someone sent me another message, she said, not just the photo. Julian's expression darkened. Show me. Lila hesitated, then she pulled out her phone. She tapped the screen, turned it toward them. Thea's breath caught. It wasn't a photo this time. It was a video. A grainy clip of Thea in the lobby, crying, shaking, clinging to Julian, taken from a hidden angle. Time-stamped. Anonymous. Sent minutes ago. Below it, a message. You should have warned him sooner. Thea's blood ran cold. Julian's voice dropped to a lethal calm. Warned me about what? Lila swallowed, and for the first time since Thea had met her, she looked genuinely scared. Julian, she said softly, this isn't about jealousy, or revenge, or you and me. This is bigger. Julian stepped closer. Lila, what aren't you telling me? She hesitated. Then, you're not the only one who got a message. Thea's heart pounded. Who else? Lila looked at her, then at Julian, then back at her. Your mother, she said. Thea froze. Julian's eyes snapped to her. What? Lila nodded. She called me, panicked. Someone sent her the same photo, the same video, the same message. Thea's knees weakened. No, she wouldn't. She did, Lila said. She's terrified. Thea shook her head. She hasn't spoken to me since she slept with your fiancé? Lila finished bluntly. Thea flinched. Julian shot Lila a warning look. Lila held up a hand. I'm not judging. I'm telling you what happened. Thea swallowed hard. What did she say? Lila hesitated. Then, she said someone threatened her. Thea's breath vanished. Threatened her how? Lila's voice dropped. They told her to stay quiet, to stay away from you, and to let the story unfold. Julian's expression turned murderous. Who sent it? Lila shook her head. No name, no number, just like mine. Thea felt the room tilt. Her mother, her ex-fiancé, Lila, her, Julian. Someone was pulling strings, someone who knew too much, someone who wanted chaos. Julian stepped closer to Lila, his voice low and dangerous. Why are you telling us this? Lila looked at Thea, not with pity, not with disdain, but with something almost like regret. Because I know what it feels like to be blindsided, she said quietly, and I won't let it happen to someone else. Not like this. Thea's throat tightened. Lila exhaled shakily. I'm not your enemy. Julian didn't look convinced. You could have fooled me. Lila's eyes flashed. I didn't leak the photo. I didn't call the press. I didn't send anything to your mother. I'm trying to help. Julian stepped closer, towering over her. If you're lying, I'm not, she snapped, and you know it. Julian didn't respond, but he didn't deny it. Lila took a breath. There's more. Thea's pulse spiked. More? Lila nodded. Someone is watching you. Julian's jaw tightened. We know that. No, Lila said, not just watching. She looked at Thea, then at Julian, then back at Thea. They're following you. Thea's stomach dropped. What? Lila held out her phone again. A new message, a new photo, taken from behind a row of cars. Thea, walking into Westbridge Media that morning, alone, unaware. The message beneath it, she shouldn't walk alone. Thea's breath hitched. Julian's entire body went rigid. He took the phone from Lila, staring at the image like he wanted to burn it. Then he turned to Thea. His voice was low, controlled, terrifying. You're coming with me, he said. Now. Thea swallowed. Julian. He stepped closer, his hand sliding to the small of her back. "This isn't optional." Lila watched them, her expression unreadable. "Be careful," she said softly. "Both of you." Julian didn't look back. He guided Thea into the private elevator, security closing in around them. The doors slid shut. Silence. Heavy. Electric. Dangerous. Thea finally whispered, "Julian, what's happening?" He looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time she saw fear in his eyes. Not for himself, for her. "This isn't about a scandal," he said quietly. "This is a warning." Her heart pounded. A warning for what? The elevator dinged. The doors opened. Julian stepped out first. Then he turned back to her. His voice was barely above a whisper. The elevator doors slid open into silence. Not the peaceful kind. The charged kind. The kind that made Thea's skin prickle as Julian guided her into the private hallway leading to his penthouse. A sleek, minimalist corridor lined with dark wood and soft lighting. Security flanked them on both sides. Julian didn't speak. He didn't have to. His jaw was tight, his shoulders tense, his hand firm on the small of her back as if he expected danger to leap out of the walls. Thea swallowed hard. "Julian, are you sure this is safe?" "Yes." "You didn't even think about it." "I didn't need to." "Why?" He looked at her, really looked at her, and something in his expression softened. "Because I trust myself more than anyone else." Her breath caught. He turned away before she could respond, pressing his thumb to the biometric scanner. The door unlocked with a soft click. The penthouse was exactly what she remembered. Modern, minimalist, expensive, cold, except for the faint scent of him, cedar, smoke, something dark and warm that made her chest tighten. Julian stepped inside first, scanning the room with a quick, practiced sweep. Only when he was satisfied did he gesture for her to enter. "Sit," he said gently. She sat. He didn't. He paced, back and forth, like a storm trapped in a glass box. Thea watched him, her pulse still racing from the chaos downstairs. "Julian," she said softly, "talk to me." He stopped, turned, and for the first time since the lobby, she saw the truth in his eyes. Fear, not for himself, for her. "You were followed," he said quietly. Her stomach dropped. "What?" "Someone took that photo of you this morning. Someone close. Someone inside the building." Her breath hitched. "Inside Westbridge?" "Yes." "Why would they?" "Because they want leverage." "Against you." He nodded once. "And they think I'm the easiest way to get it." His jaw tightened. "You're not easy. You're vulnerable. That's different." She swallowed. "Julian." "Who would do this?" He hesitated. Then, "There are people who don't want me in this position." "The CEO role?" "Yes." "Why?" He exhaled slowly. "Because I wasn't supposed to get it." Thea frowned. "What do you mean?" Julian walked to the window, staring out at the city lights below. "My father built Westbridge," he said, "but he didn't want me running it." Thea blinked. "Why not?" "Because I don't play by his rules." She hesitated. "And someone else wanted the job?" "Someone who thinks they deserve it more." "Who?" He didn't answer. He didn't have to. The silence said enough. Thea stood slowly, walking toward him. "Julian, you think someone inside the company is doing this?" "Yes." "And they're using me to get to you?" "Yes." She swallowed. "Why me?" He turned to her, and the look in his eyes made her breath catch. "Because you matter to me." Her heart stuttered. He stepped closer, slowly, carefully, like he was giving her time to pull away. She didn't. "Thea," he said softly, "I don't care what the press says. I don't care what Daniel Carter screams in the lobby. I don't care what anyone thinks happened between us." Her pulse raced. "Julian, I care about you." Her knees nearly buckled. He reached out, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "You're shaking," he murmured. "I'm scared." "I know. Of everything. I know. And of you." He froze. She swallowed hard. "Because you make me feel things I'm not ready for." His breath hitched. He stepped closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm not ready either." Her chest tightened. He leaned in, slowly, His lips brushed hers. A loud bang shattered the moment. Thea jumped. Julian spun toward the door, eyes sharp, body tense. Another bang. Harder. Security rushed down the hallway. Julian grabbed Thea's hand, pulling her behind him. "Stay back," he said. The banging grew louder, more frantic, more desperate. Then a voice, muffled, panicked, familiar. "Julian, open the door!" Thea's blood ran cold. It was Lila. Julian hesitated for half a second, then unlocked the door. Lila stumbled inside, breathless, shaking, her hair disheveled, her eyes wide with terror. "Julian," she gasped, "you need to see this." Julian grabbed her shoulders. "Lila, what happened?" She shoved her phone into his hands. Julian looked at the screen, his face drained of color. Thea stepped closer, and her stomach dropped. It was a live video feed, a shaky, grainy live stream of a car, her mother's car, parked outside her mother's house. The camera zoomed in, closer, closer, until it focused on the front door. A message appeared on the screen. "You should have listened." Thea's heart stopped. Then, the front door exploded open. Her mother screamed. The screen went black. Thea's knees buckled. Julian caught her before she hit the floor. "Thea," he whispered urgently, "stay with me." She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. She could only hear her mother's scream echoing in her skull. "Julian," she choked out. "My mom." "I know. We have to go." "I know. Now." Julian lifted her to her feet, his voice low and deadly. "Security," he snapped. "Get the car. We're leaving." Lila stood frozen, pale and shaking. "Julian, this is bigger than we thought." Julian didn't look at her. He didn't look at anyone. He looked only at Thea, and his voice was a promise. "I'm not letting anything happen to her." The elevator dinged. Security rushed in. Julian grabbed Thea's hand. "Let's go." The doors closed. The penthouse disappeared, and Thea's world changed forever. The SUV tore through Los Angeles like a bullet. Julian sat beside Thea in the back seat, one hand gripping hers, the other clenched so tightly his knuckles were white. Security vehicles flanked them on both sides, lights off, engines roaring. Thea couldn't breathe. Her mother's scream still echoed in her skull. "Julian," she whispered, "what if she's hurt? What if—" "Don't," he said sharply, then softer. "Don't go there." She swallowed hard. "But the video. We don't know what happened yet, but we'll find out when we get there." His voice was steady, but his eyes weren't. They were stormy, furious, terrified, not for himself, for her. The SUV swerved onto her mother's street. Thea's heart stopped. Police lights flashed. Yellow tape fluttered. Neighbors stood outside in clusters, whispering. A paramedic van idled at the curb. "No," Thea breathed. "No, no, no." Julian grabbed her hand. "Wait." She didn't. She shoved the door open before the SUV even stopped and sprinted toward the house. "Thea!" Julian shouted behind her. She didn't slow. She couldn't. Her mother's front door was splintered, hanging off its hinges. The living room was a mess. Overturned furniture, shattered glass, papers everywhere. A police officer stepped in front of her. "Ma'am, you can't— That's my mother!" Thea cried. "Where is she? Is she okay? Where—" Julian appeared behind her, breathless, furious. "Let her through." The officer hesitated. "Sir, we can't—" Julian pulled out his ID, not his CEO badge, but something else, something official, something that made the officer's eyes widen. "Let her through." The officer stepped aside instantly. Thea rushed inside. Her mother sat on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, shaking, a paramedic checking her vitals. Her hair was messy, her face pale, her eyes red. "Mom," Thea cried, dropping to her knees. Her mother looked up and burst into tears. "Thea!" she sobbed, grabbing her daughter's hands. "Oh God, Thea!" Thea hugged her tightly, tears streaming down her face. "Are you hurt? What happened? Who did this?" Her mother shook her head violently. I don't know. They broke in. Someone broke in. They were looking for something." "What?" Thea whispered. Her mother's voice cracked. "You." Thea froze. Julian stepped closer, his voice low. "What do you mean?" Her mother looked at him, eyes wide with fear. They kept saying her name. They kept asking where she was. They said she needed to learn her place. They said she broke down again. Thea's blood ran cold. Julian's jaw clenched so hard she thought he might break a tooth. "Did you see them?" he asked. Her mother shook her head. "Masks, all black. They were in and out in minutes." Thea swallowed hard. "Mom, why didn't you call me?" Her mother looked away. Thea's chest tightened. "Mom," her mother whispered, "because I thought it was my fault." Thea blinked. "What?" Her mother's voice trembled. "Because of what I did. Because I hurt you. Because I ruined everything. I thought this was punishment." Thea's heart cracked. "Mom," she whispered. No, this isn't your fault. None of this is your fault." Her mother sobbed harder. Julian stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Mrs. Hunt, you're safe now. We're going to protect you." Her mother looked at him, eyes full of fear. "You can't protect her. You can't protect either of us. They said—" She stopped. Julian crouched in front of her. "They said what?" Her mother hesitated, then whispered, "They said they're coming for her next." Thea's breath vanished. Julian stood slowly, his expression turning to stone. "We're leaving," he said. Thea shook her head. "I'm not leaving my mother." "She's coming with us." Her mother blinked. "What?" Julian turned to his security team. "Get her in the SUV, now." Thea grabbed his arm. "Julian, what are you doing?" "Protecting you." "But my mother is safer with us than here." "But—" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Thea, someone broke into her house. Someone threatened her. Someone is watching you. This isn't random. This isn't a coincidence. This is a message." Her stomach twisted. "A message for who?" "For me." Her breath caught. Julian cupped her face gently. "I'm not letting anything happen to you." She swallowed hard. "Julian, I'm scared." "I know." "For her, for me, for you." He hesitated, then whispered, "You should be." Her heart stopped. Before she could respond, a police officer approached them. "Sir," he said to Julian, "we found something." Julian straightened. "What?" The officer held up a small black object in a plastic evidence bag. A phone. Burner. Cheap. Disposable. "We found this in the bushes outside," the officer said. "It was recording." Thea's stomach dropped. "Recording what?" The officer tapped the screen. A video played, grainy, shaky, taken from across the street. It showed Thea running into the house, crying, falling to her knees in front of her mother. The video zoomed in, closer, closer, until it focused on Thea's face. Then the screen went black. A message appeared. "You're next." Thea's blood turned to ice. Julian's expression darkened into something she'd never seen before. Not anger, not fear. Something colder, something dangerous. He turned to his security team. "Get them in the car," he said. "Now." The officer hesitated. "Sir, we still need—" Julian cut him off. "You'll get your statements later. Right now, I'm getting them out of here." Thea's mother was escorted to the SUV. Thea followed, her legs shaking. Julian stayed behind for a moment, speaking quietly to the officers. Then he turned, and his eyes locked on hers. "Thea," he said, voice low and deadly. "This isn't about a scandal anymore." She swallowed. "Then what is it?" He stepped closer. "So much bigger." Her pulse raced. "Julian!" He leaned in, close enough that she felt his breath on her skin, close enough that she felt the truth in his voice. "They're not trying to ruin my reputation," he whispered. "They're trying to destroy my life." Her heart pounded. "Why?" He hesitated. Then, "Because they know the one thing that can break me." She blinked. "What?" His eyes darkened. "You." If this story has you holding your breath, hit subscribe. Our Stories has more like this waiting for you. The SUV sped through the city with a police escort, security vehicles flanking them like a moving fortress. Thea sat between Julian and her mother, gripping both their hands, her pulse still racing from the break-in. Her mother trembled beside her, wrapped in a blanket, eyes unfocused. She hadn't spoken since the police showed them the video. Julian hadn't spoken either. He was too busy thinking, too busy calculating, too busy planning. Thea could feel the tension radiating off him, sharp, electric, Dangerous. Julian, she whispered, where are we going? A safe house. Where? Somewhere no one can find you. She swallowed. You mean us. He didn't deny it. He didn't look at her. He just said, yes. The SUV turned off the main road and wound through a quiet neighborhood of gated estates and towering hedges. Thea's mother looked around, confused. Where are we? She whispered. Julian answered without turning. A property owned by Westbridge, private, secure, off the books. Thea blinked. Off the books? Julian finally looked at her. It's where we put people when we need them protected. Her stomach twisted. Protected from what? He didn't answer. The SUV stopped in front of a modern glass house tucked behind tall trees and a steel gate. Security guards were already stationed outside. Julian stepped out first, scanning the area before helping Thea and her mother out. Inside, the house was sleek and quiet. Open spaces, soft lighting, reinforced windows, and a security system that looked military-grade. Julian guided them into the living room. Sit, he said gently. Thea's mother sank onto the couch, still shaking. Thea stayed standing. Julian, she said softly, tell me what's going on. He ran a hand through his hair, the first sign he was unraveling. I don't know yet. You have theories. Yes. Tell me. He hesitated. Then, no. Thea stepped closer. Julian, I said no. Her voice cracked. You can't shut me out. I'm trying to protect you. I don't need protection. I need answers. He turned sharply, eyes flashing. And what if the answers put you in more danger? She didn't back down. I'm already in danger. He froze. She was right. He knew it. She knew it. Her mother whispered, Thea, maybe listen to him. Thea turned to her mother. Mom, someone broke into your house. Someone threatened you. Someone is following me. I need to know why. Her mother swallowed. I know, but... Julian cut in, voice low. Thea's right. Thea blinked. Her mother blinked. Julian exhaled slowly. She deserves to know. Thea stepped closer. Then tell me. Julian looked at her, really looked at her, and she saw the war in his eyes. Fear, anger, guilt, something darker. Finally he said, There's someone inside Westbridge who wants me gone. Thea's stomach dropped. Gone how? Removed, discredited, destroyed. Why? Because I wasn't supposed to get the CEO position. Thea frowned. Who was supposed to get it? Julian hesitated. Then, my brother. Thea froze. Her mother gasped. Julian looked away. He wanted the job. He expected it. He thinks it belongs to him. Thea swallowed. And he's doing all this? I don't know, Julian said. But he has motive and he has resources. Thea's pulse raced. What kind of resources? Julian's jaw tightened. Enough to make people disappear. Her breath caught. Julian? He stepped closer, lowering his voice. I'm not saying it's him, but someone with power is pulling strings, someone who knows my weaknesses. Thea's chest tightened. And you think I'm one of them. He didn't answer. He didn't have to. The silence said everything. Thea whispered, Julian, why me? He looked at her, and the truth in his eyes made her knees weaken. Because I care about you, he said quietly, and they know it. Her breath trembled. Her mother watched them, eyes wide but silent. Julian stepped closer, his voice softening. Thea, I didn't plan this. I didn't expect you. I didn't want... He stopped. She waited. He didn't finish. Instead, he turned away, running a hand through his hair again. Thea reached out and touched his arm. Julian. He froze. She whispered, You're not alone in this. He turned back to her, eyes dark and intense. You don't understand, he said. If you stay close to me, you become a target. I already am. He flinched. She stepped closer. Julian, I'm not leaving. He stared at her. Long enough that she felt the air shift. Long enough that she felt something break open between them. He reached for her hand. She let him. He whispered, I don't deserve you. She whispered back, Let me decide that. His breath hitched. He leaned in. A loud beep cut through the room. Security screens lit up. Julian spun toward them. What is it? Thea asked. A guard rushed in. Sir, We have movement. Julian's voice sharpened. Where? The guard pointed at the screen. A figure stood at the edge of the property, tall, still, watching. Thea's blood ran cold. Who is that? She whispered. The guard zoomed in. Thea's heart stopped. It wasn't Daniel. It wasn't Lila. It wasn't anyone she recognized. But Julian did. His face drained of color. His voice dropped to a whisper. No. Thea grabbed his arm. Julian, who is that? He didn't answer. He couldn't. The figure stepped closer to the camera, enough for the light to catch his face. Julian's jaw clenched. His eyes darkened. His voice cracked. The safe house security monitors flickered, and the moment Julian saw the figure at the edge of the property, his entire body went still. Thea felt the shift before she understood it. Julian, she whispered. Who is that? He didn't answer. Not at first. He stepped closer to the screen, jaw tightening, breath slowing, eyes darkening with something old and dangerous. Finally, he said the name like it was a wound. Elias. Thea blinked. Your brother? Julian nodded once. Her mother gasped softly behind them. Thea stepped closer. Julian. What does he want? Julian didn't look away from the screen. He wants me. Elias Wayne stood perfectly still at the edge of the property, hands in his pockets, head tilted slightly as if he knew exactly where the cameras were, as if he wanted to be seen. Thea swallowed. Why now? Julian exhaled slowly. Because he thinks he's winning. Thea's stomach twisted. Winning what? Julian finally turned to her, and the look in his eyes made her breath catch. The war he started years ago. Security scrambled, radios crackling, guards rushing to the perimeter. But Elias didn't move. He stood there like a statue carved out of ice, watching the house, watching them. Julian stormed toward the door. Thea grabbed his arm. Julian, wait! He didn't stop. Julian! He froze. Barely. She stepped in front of him, blocking the door. You can't go out there. He looked down at her, eyes burning. I have to. No, she said firmly. You don't. He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. Thea, you don't understand. Elias doesn't show up unless he wants something, unless he's planning something. Then let security handle it. He won't talk to them. Then he won't talk at all. Julian's jaw tightened. He came here for me. Thea shook her head. No, he came here for us. Julian flinched. She stepped closer. Julian, you said it yourself. They're using me to get to you. If you walk out there alone... He closed his eyes. She was right. He knew it. She knew it. Her mother whispered, Julian, please, don't leave her. Julian opened his eyes, and something in him cracked. He stepped back from the door, just enough. Thea exhaled shakily. Julian cupped her face, his voice barely above a whisper. I can't lose you. You won't. You don't know that. I know you're not walking into a trap. He swallowed hard. Then security's voice crackled through the intercom. Sir, he's moving. Julian spun toward the screen. Elias stepped closer to the gate. Then, he reached into his coat. Thea's breath caught. Security tensed. Julian stepped forward. Elias pulled out a small black envelope. He held it up, then dropped it on the ground. Turned. Walked away. Vanished into the darkness. Thea exhaled shakily. What? What is that? Julian didn't answer. He turned to security. Retrieve it. 2 guards rushed out. Thea grabbed Julian's hand. Julian, what's inside? He didn't look at her. He didn't blink. He just said, something he wants me to see. The guards returned with the envelope. Julian took it. His hands shook. Just slightly. He opened it, pulled out a single photograph. Thea leaned in. Her stomach dropped. It was a picture of her, taken from inside the safe house, from the hallway, from last night. Her mother gasped. Thea's blood ran cold. Julian, someone was inside. I know. Someone was watching me. I know. Her voice cracked. Julian, who took that picture? Julian stared at the photo, then whispered, someone who wants you to know you're not safe with me. Thea's heart pounded. Julian. He looked at her, and the truth in his eyes shattered her. He's not trying to destroy me, Julian said quietly. He's trying to destroy you. Thea's breath trembled. Why? Julian swallowed hard. Because he thinks you're the reason I won. Thea blinked. Won what? Julian hesitated. Then, the company. Thea frowned. Julian, I didn't even know you went. I know. Then why would he think? Because he thinks I changed. Thea's heart raced. Changed how? Julian stepped closer. His voice broke. You made me human. Thea froze. Julian cupped her face, his forehead resting against hers. You made me soft, he whispered. You made me vulnerable. You made me want something other than power. And Elias thinks that makes me weak. Her breath hitched. Julian's voice cracked. He thinks you're my weakness. Thea swallowed. Am I? Julian closed his eyes. No, he whispered. You're the only thing that makes me strong. Her heart shattered. He pulled back just enough to look at her. Thea, I need you to listen to me. She nodded. I'm going to end this. Her stomach twisted. Julian, but I need you safe. No. Yes. I'm not leaving you. You have to. No. Julian grabbed her shoulders, voice breaking. Thea, please, if anything happens to you. She pressed her hand to his chest. Julian, she whispered, I'm not running. He stared at her. Then something in him cracked. He kissed her, soft, desperate, terrified. When he pulled back, his voice was a promise. I will end this, he said. I will protect you. I will protect your mother. I will protect everything that matters. Thea swallowed. Julian, what are you going to do? He stepped back. His eyes hardened. His voice turned to steel. I'm going to confront my brother. Thea's breath caught. Julian, he turned to security. Prepare the car. Thea grabbed his arm. Julian, wait. He looked at her, and the look in his eyes was the end of everything. Thea, he said softly, I love you. Her heart stopped. He'd never said it before, not even close. She whispered, Julian. He stepped closer, cupping her face one last time. I love you, he repeated, and I'm going to end this so I can come back to you. Her voice trembled. Julian, don't go. He kissed her forehead. I have to. He turned, walked toward the door, didn't look back. Thea whispered the truth she'd been terrified to say out loud. He's not coming back. Julian Wayne didn't take security with him. He didn't take backup. He didn't take fear. He took only one thing, resolve. Thea watched from the safe house window as he walked into the night, her heart in her throat, her hands shaking. Her mother touched her shoulder. Thea, he'll come back. Thea didn't answer. She wasn't sure she believed it. Julian found Elias exactly where he expected him, waiting, in the abandoned construction lot behind the safe house, a place with no cameras, no witnesses, no rules. Elias smiled when Julian approached. Brother. Julian didn't smile back. This ends tonight. Elias tilted his head. Does it? Julian stepped closer. You crossed a line. I crossed many. You threatened her. I did. You broke into her mother's house. I did. You terrorized her. I did. Julian's voice dropped to a lethal calm. Why? Elias's smile faded. Because you took everything from me. Julian shook his head. I didn't take anything. You took father's approval. No. You took the company. No. You took the future that was supposed to be mine. Julian's jaw tightened. You lost that future when you tried to kill me. Elias's eyes flashed. You survived. And you disappeared. I waited. For what? For you to fall. Julian stepped closer. I didn't. No, Elias said. You rose, higher than I ever did, higher than I ever could. Julian swallowed. So this is jealousy. This is justice. Julian shook his head. This is obsession. Elias's voice sharpened. You don't deserve what you have. Julian's voice softened. I don't deserve her. Elias blinked. Julian continued. But I love her, and she loves me, and you will not take that from me. Elias's expression twisted. Love makes you weak. No, Julian said. It makes me unstoppable. Elias lunged. Julian didn't hesitate. They collided like two storms. Fists, fury, years of resentment exploding in a violent, desperate clash. Julian fought like a man with something to lose. Elias fought like a man with nothing left. The fight was brutal, fast, ugly. Elias swung wild, fueled by rage. Julian blocked, countered, endured. A punch to the jaw, a knee to the ribs, a shove into the dirt. Julian hit the ground hard. Elias stood over him, panting, smiling. "You're weak," Elias hissed, just like father said. Julian's breath caught. Elias raised his fist. Julian whispered, "No." He surged upward, grabbing Elias's arm, twisting, flipping him onto the ground. Elias hit the dirt with a scream. Julian pinned him, breathing hard, shaking, alive. Elias struggled beneath him. "Kill me." Julian froze. "Do it," Elias spat. "End it. Be the monster father always said you were." Julian's voice cracked. "I'm not a monster." "Then you're weak." Julian swallowed, then whispered, "No, I'm better." Elias stopped struggling. Julian stood slowly, stepping back. Elias stared up at him, stunned. Julian said quietly, "I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to expose you." Elias's eyes widened. "What?" Julian pulled out his phone. Security rushed in from the shadows. They'd been waiting on standby, per Julian's orders. Julian nodded. "Take him." Elias screamed as they grabbed him. "Julian, you can't do this. You can't." Julian stepped closer. "I already did." Elias froze. Julian whispered, "You lose." Thea stood at the safe house door when Julian returned. He looked exhausted, bruised, bleeding, alive. She ran to him. He caught her, held her, breathed her in. "Thea," he whispered, "it's over." She pulled back, tears streaming down her face. "Julian, are you okay?" He nodded. "I am now." She touched his cheek gently. "You came back." He smiled, small, tired, real. "I told you I would." She kissed him, soft, slow, certain. When they pulled apart, Julian rested his forehead against hers. "I love you," he whispered. Thea smiled through her tears. "I love you too." Her mother watched from the doorway, relief washing over her face. Julian took Thea's hand. "Let's go home," he said. Thea squeezed his fingers. "We are home." Julian exhaled, a sound of release, of peace, of finally, and for the first time in years he believed it. Thank you so much for listening to The CEO from the Bar by Raven Sanz, narrated here on RS Stories. If this story made your heart race, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We have more original romance audiobooks coming your way. This is RS Stories, and we'll see you in the next one.